It's Tuesday, the 27th of August, 2024. Welcome to the Fast 5 Business News by Fear and Greed, where we give you the top 5 business stories you need to know in just 5 minutes. I'm Michael Thompson, and good morning, Sean Aylmer.
Good morning, Michael.
Sean, 5 stories in 5 minutes. Let's get going. Story number 1, the federal government will review its own travel policies, and it'll take a tougher approach to Sydney airport slots as it pushes to promote more competition in the domestic airline industry.
It follows the release of the government's long-awaited white paper. You mentioned a couple of recommendations there, Michael. The paper includes 56 initiatives intended to improve the traveller experience, enhance competition, and assist the industry towards a more sustainable future. The government promised to lower the barrier for entries for newcomers by enforcing a use-it-or-lose-it approach to Sydney airport slots, all important those slots, and it wants to introduce greater transparency around airlines and airports' commercial activities to help identify any anti-competitive practices. Airlines will have to show cause why flights have been delayed or cancelled. There'll also be an independent aviation industry ombudsman scheme and a charter of customer rights. The aviation ombudsman would be industry funded with a capacity to handle large numbers of complaints. The charter of rights would establish a regime for the fair and appropriate treatment of customers, including actions the airline must take in the event of flight delays and cancellations.
And Sean, the government's going to stop using Qantas, or at least reduce its reliance on Qantas.
Yes, Qantas receives more than 80% of domestic flight spending from politicians, judges and some government departments, despite its average ticket being more than $280 higher for MPs. These changes need legislation, and it's not clear exactly when that will happen, though the new ombudsman is expected to be named this week. All this comes in the months after budget carrier Bonza and Regional Express went into voluntary administration. Qantas and Jetstar remain the dominant players in the local market, about two-thirds of the domestic audience. This white paper is years in the making. Some of the recommendations have been floating around for quite a while. Its goal is to give the industry a blueprint out until 2050.
Story number 2, Sean, federal right to disconnect laws have come into force this week, meaning workers are legally entitled to decline calls or emails outside work hours.
Under the laws, employers face fines of up to $93,000 for getting in touch with an employee for non-essential reasons outside of working hours. Prime Minister Anthony Albanese said the laws will boost productivity because people will be more focused while they're at work. He told the ABC, just as people don't get paid 24 hours a day, they don't have to work for 24 hours a day. Employment and Workplace Relations Minister Murray Watt said the laws are aimed to encourage workplaces to have a conversation about what is reasonable in their workplace. Australia follows nations such as France, Spain and Belgium in introducing right to disconnect laws to protect workers from unreasonable contact outside of hours, while other governments around the world are considering similar measures.
Story number 3, Endeavour Group, the owner of Dan Murphy's and BWS chains, said sales in the new financial year have been softer, sending its share price down 7% yesterday.
Endeavour posted a 3% fall in net profit last year in line with expectations, with hotel revenue outdoing retail sales. Steve Donoghue, CEO of Endeavour Group, said there was a large shift in the ready-to-drink beverage space where consumers are seeking convenience and value. They're moving from a pricey 4-pack to a cheaper 6 or 10-pack, looking for value. In beer, shoppers are seeking 30 can blocks rather than 24 cans, Mr. Donoghue said. The hotel's business grew faster than retail sales, reflecting better food and bar menus and refurbished accommodation. But the biggest news of all, Michael, people are looking for value for money. They've turned away, just a touch, from the chicken schnitty, while the fish and chips are back in fashion.
Oh, there you go. Story number 4, Kogan.com, the online retailer that at one point in the middle of COVID was worth more than 3 times the value of Myer, has returned to profitability and paid out a final dividend for the first time in 3 years.
Founder and CEO Ruslan Kogan attributed some of the improved performance on people upgrading to really big TVs, as in 85-inch displays. He said large TVs are now more affordable and home entertainment has largely been spared the cost of living crisis. In essence, people aren't spending as much at restaurants and cafes, but they're watching more streaming and sports. While revenue was down 6% last financial year at Kogan, it made a profit, albeit small, which was better than the previous year's $26 million loss. Kogan's share price closed up 13% yesterday.
Last one, story number 5, IKEA is taking on the likes of eBay and Facebook Marketplace and Craigslist, Gumtree, all of those with a peer-to-peer marketplace for customers to sell second-hand furniture to each other.
IKEA Pre-Owned will be tested in Madrid and Oslo until the end of the year with the aim of rolling out the buying and selling platform globally, according to a report in the Financial Times. The new marketplace is part of a transformation at IKEA over the past few years as it moves from being an out-of-town retailer where customers have to pick up and build their own furniture to a business offering online sales, city centre stores, and services such as assembly. IKEA has had a small offering under which it buys used furniture from customers and resells it in store, but the new platform is much, much more ambitious, aiming to tackle the second-hand market for customers selling directly to each other. Customers enter their product, their own pictures, and a selling price, while IKEA's own artificial intelligence-enabled database brings in its own promotional images and measurements. The buyer collects the furniture directly from the seller, who has the option of receiving money or a voucher from IKEA with a 15% bonus.
All right, there we go. The top 5 business stories in 5 minutes. Thank you, Sean.
Thank you, Michael.
It is Tuesday, the 27th of August, 2024. Remember to hit follow on the podcast, and if 5 minutes isn't enough, you can find our longer daily show called Fear and Greed wherever you listen to podcasts. I'm Michael Thompson, and that was Fear and Greed. No, it wasn't. I'm Michael Thompson, and that was the Fast 5 business news by Fear and Greed. Have a great day.